We'll be 155 years old. We don't look a day over 150, I don't think. But this make a long story short, we sent two folks back to Washington, D.C., Joseph Lane and Delazon Smith, to serve as our territorial senators and to fight for statehood. And when statehood was achieved, to become our first two U.S. senators. So on February 14th, 1859, Congress voted to make, the U.S. Senate voted to make Oregon a state. And on that day, Delazon Smith sat down at his desk and he wrote this letter to his wife on February 14th, 1859. I'll share a bit of it with you. It says, Washington, Senate Chamber, Washington, D.C., February 14th, 1859. My dear wife, the long and painful agony is over, exclamation point. Oregon is a state within this glorious union, two exclamation points. After a long and desperate struggle, we have most gloriously triumphed. Then he goes on to say, we were admitted by a majority of only 11 votes. It was a long struggle because the southern states opposed Oregon entering the union because we were entering as a free state as opposed to a slave state. But my favorite part, at the end of the letter, he says, I had a great many letters by the last mail from Oregon, but not one from you, my own dear Mary. Underlined exclamation point. I looked with great anxiety through all the list for your letter, but alas, it was not there. But fortunately, there was one from Mr. McConnell. From him, I learned that you had been in town and that you and the children were well. God be praised for the good news. So, ladies, there's a lesson here for you. Is to write your husband. But the enduring lesson of Volunteers of America is that it's part of an Oregon tradition. Ever since the pioneer days, when neighbors would gather for miles around to participate in community barn raisings, the spirit of neighbor helping neighbor has been part of the Oregon story and part of Oregon history. And that story and that history is alive tonight because of folks like you, because of the Volunteers of America. It brings to mind the words of the late Governor Tom McCall, who said, heroes are not statues framed against a red sky. They are individuals who say, this is my community and it's my responsibility to make it better. Well, we've seen some heroes tonight. Kay Turan is a hero. Volunteers of America is a hero. We'll meet some a little bit later because Bernie and Bobby Foster are heroes. I can tell you about that. And Al and Nancy Jubitz are heroes for all they do. So tonight it's your chance to be a hero. And if we could get the lights up here. I know this isn't your first rodeo, everybody here. You know what's coming next. And I believe every table has the paddles. Pass them around. So get those passed around. All right, I think we do need the lights up if we're gonna see you when you do the paddle. All right, based on the video we saw, based on the testimony we heard, we'll start big. Is anybody here in the room who would care to raise their paddle for $10,000? $10,000. I'll let you touch Meriwether Lewis's branding iron for $10,000. All right, let's go to $5,000. I know there are some here for $5,000. Number 500, $5,000, right back there. Number 246, Mr. Jubitz, right over there. Thank you, Mr. Jubitz. Number 501, right over there. Thank you very much. Any others for $5,000? As you see, coming next, the next level, if we could go to the next level is, hit that slide, $2,500, I believe. And this will tell you what $2,500, well, there you go, $2,500 provides parent education classes for 7 families at risk of child abuse. $2,500. Thank you. 503, $2,500. 214, $2,500. 504, $2,500. 502, $2,500. 138, Dave Underreiner, Providence, $2,500. And by the way, let's hear it for Providence for adopting Providence Park. Isn't that a great name for so? And the best part about that, I happen to be chairman of Special Olympics Oregon, and they've partnered with Special Olympics Oregon. And part of the deal of bringing Providence Park is the fall summer games will come back to Providence Park for Special Olympics next fall. So, round of applause for Providence. So, the next level, I believe, should be, is it $1,000? $1,000. Hosting Make-A-Wish for a senior. And the Make-A-Wish program is you take seniors to something they haven't been able to do on their own. $1,000. Here we go. 128, $1,000 right there. 105, $1,000. 199, $1,000. 224, 222, 240. Keep that applause going for these guys. 505, 255. Any others for $1,000? 141 right here. 506 back there. Now I'm going to come down here for a minute while we take just a brief break, because I know Governor Atiyeh is one of the biggest fans that Kay Turan has. And Governor, I think, don't you want to say something or tell us a joke or?
As they say in Washington, D.C., give till it hurts.
All right, the next level, I believe, is $500. $500 provides bus passes for 10 clients. You know what it is. Governor Atiyeh, $500, 419. 109, 119, 121, 193, 317, 509, 319, 232, 508, 283, 281, 382, 418, 370, $500. Oh, 507, 125, Kay Turan, $500. 115. How's the scribing crew going? Did they get all those? Didn't miss anybody? All right, they got them all. Next level, I believe, is $250, if I'm not mistaken. $250 to help a CPR client. You just heard a CPR client. Let's see some signs for $250. Here we go. 131, 144, 145, 153, 140, 265, 161, 175, 172, 147, 259, 254, 260, 252, 276, 277, 289, 286, 361, 395, 250, 302, 143, 230, 420, 237. This is great. 298, 296, 349, 405, 406, 347, 332, 315, 216, 206, 116, 111, 102. Back here, one more. 383. Where's our CPR friend? Right there. Take a bow. That's all because of you. Oh, 112. 112. And the final level tonight, I believe, is $100. $100. You can buy art supplies for their great youth programs. A lot of things you can do with $100. All right, did we all go? Oh, here we go. 129, 136, 243, 177, 148, 184, 160, 166, 258, 284, 367, 287, 245, 293, 292 399 407 300 275 279 376 403 410 402 414 351 239 312 306 340 308 188 235 197 189 190 191 192. We're going on a roll there. 133 234 321 323 229 322 226 317 200 207 201 and 208. All for $100. As I said, thank you for donating tonight. Thank you for helping to change history for so many people and for Volunteers of America. One final word, a little commercial for OHS. Many of you know we've had, for the past 5 months, we've had a fabulous exhibit, Pete Marks' Presidential Artifact and Document Collection, one-of-a-kind Smithsonian level connection. It closes on President's Day, 7 p.m., fittingly enough on Monday. If you haven't seen it, get down there by Monday to see some amazing history. And thank you tonight on behalf of Kay and volunteers for changing history for so many people.
Well, let's give another round of applause for Carrie and for you. Thank you so much. I think you can see why all of us at Volunteers of America are so proud. We know the quality of the work that we have been presenting this community, and when you see it in living color in the clients and program participants and family members who share their story, it only motivates me more to be able to do the job that this community needs. So thank you to the program participants, the family members who presented here today, and again, thank you for the support that you provide us to be able to do the job that we believe is necessary for our community to be the best that it can be. Thank you. A couple of years after joining the leadership role at Volunteers of America, there were internal and external conversations about how our organization would like to be connected to the larger community. We have always been committed to high-quality services and excellence, but we knew that a greater effort needed to be made so that the larger community really had an understanding of the work that we do at Volunteers of America, who we serve, and the impact that we're making. One of the ways that we decided to do that was to establish an award that acknowledged and supported excellence in our community. Through an internal and external effort and process, we established the DePreist Award, an award for excellence, which was given to James and Jeanette DePreist as the first honorees. I'm going to come back to that award in a minute. 3 years ago, we also decided to establish an award that acknowledged a lifetime achievement in our community. We believe that there are these underrated, understated leaders that make a huge impact in our community that often aren't recognized in the way that people who have bigger personalities are. So again, through an internal and external process, we decided that we would create the Lifetime Achievement Award, and the first recipient of that award was former Governor Victor Atiyeh. And I want to share some reasons why we selected him to receive that award. It's kind of dark up here, so bear with me. Governor Atiyeh had an enormous impact on the state of Oregon when he was governor. It was during the worst economic downturn in the state's history. Working in collaboration with the President of the Senate, John Kitzhaber, and the Speaker of the House, Hardy Myers, the three of them together were able to stabilize our economy, bring new industry and trade opportunities to the state, and work diligently to bring our state together. As governor, he courageously, publicly, and boldly addressed the complex issue of racial discrimination in our state, introducing legislation that made certain kinds of activities felonies. After having all of the, After leaving the governor's position, he continued to provide quiet leadership to make a meaningful difference in education, working for youth organizations, being a mentor for new and aspiring politicians, and supporting fledgling organizations, that had a focus on improving race relations. I couldn't have been more pleased when he appeared tonight and said, "I'm not sure I RSVP'd, but I'm here." So let's give another round of applause to Vic Atiyeh. This evening, I couldn't be more delighted than to give the second Lifetime Achievement Award that is now named after Governor Vic Atiyeh to Bernie and Bobby Foster. Please. The two of them have been significant contributors to Portland's Northeast community with their ownership and publishing of the Scanner newspaper, but they've impacted the larger community with their sponsorship of the Reverend Martin Luther King Breakfast annually, where they give out hundreds of scholarships to students who are seeking their college education. At this time, we're going to share a video on Bernie and Bobby Foster.
You'd have to be dedicated to run any newspaper in today's marketplace. But to manage a black newspaper in overwhelmingly white Oregon for 38 years,
a topic that needs to be addressed.
well, that might require you to be married to it.
I may take a different approach to his approach.
Do you win?
We talk. Didn't he tell you I always win? No, I don't always win.
Bobby Foster is the Scanner newspaper's executive editor. Her publisher is also her husband.
We want to tell our own story in our own way.
For nearly 4 decades, Bobby and Bernie Foster haven't just been recording history.
Let's see, this is back in 2008, Obama in Portland.
They've been making it.
And you'll notice that all capital letters on it. Bobby picked that out.
In 1986, when someone asked Bernie Foster why the man who was present at every turn inside his newspaper's offices didn't have a Portland street named after him, Bernie got to work.
At that time, there was no rule for changing the street.
He found himself in the middle of a controversy.
Why make such a negative street, in honor of such a positive person? I mean, we're talking Nobel Peace Prize winner here.
The Scanner's publisher got support by sticking petitions inside his newspaper.
So let this avenue we name in his honor symbolize everything good Dr. King stood for.
3 years after the Scanner newspaper led the effort, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard was born. It remains one of the paper's proudest achievements. But a fight with even bigger stakes was still to come. How often do you and your husband disagree editorially?
Well, not a lot.
But this opinion piece was a big exception.
I said to my reader, if you really care about your loved ones, you better think twice before you call the police.
The editorial followed a series of deadly encounters between Portland police officers and people with mental health issues. Did you have any pushback?
I did, very strongly, yes. We should not do that. I just don't agree with that. And Bernie was adamant.
Bernie got his headline. It was part of a larger push in and outside the black community that eventually resulted in the federal government forcing the Portland Police Bureau to change its policies.
Over there is where we do the layout
Today, the scanner deals with a big change of its own. The web means more readers than ever, but the revenue isn't keeping up.
Have you solved that equation yet?
No, but we're working on it. We're working on it.
The scanner's very first issue in 1975 focused on our future. In the newspaper world, that future has never been so uncertain. This editorial and publishing couple has every intention to do what it has for 38 years. Deliver.
Please join with me in welcoming Bernie and Bobby Foster to receive the Governor Tia Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kay. And Volunteers of America, for the wonderful work that you do every time I listen to people who have been served by the many programs of Volunteers of America. I'm always moved. Sometimes I'll say moved to tears, but really moved to give, as many of you have done this evening, and I want to thank you all for that because it couldn't be for a more worthy cause. I just want to briefly say that we're very honored to receive this award that has been named in honor of our distinguished Governor Vicatia. I happened to have been looking through some boxes the other day and came across a couple of letters that had been exchanged with Governor Atiyeh. One of them was in 1982 when he was running for governor, and he sent a letter to us mentioning that what several of his priorities were if he were to be elected governor, and one of them was the anti-racial harassment legislation that he said he was going to have as one of his highest priorities. So that got our attention. And then in 1986, he attended the Scanner's annual Martin Luther King breakfast. And the governor, after the breakfast, told Bernie he wanted to pay for his meal. And Bernie said, no, this is complimentary, and we're just honored that you're here. And he said, no, the Governor Atiyeh said, no, I want to write a check. So I found this letter that Bernie wrote back to the governor, and he said, what we're going to do is we're going to use this check and as part of the payment for the ad that you will be running in the paper. Because the governor's office was running an ad in our annual Black History edition. So we're very honored to receive an award in the name of a great statesman, and we're very appreciative. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Kay and Volunteers of America.
Well, first of all, let me address that one. I had no idea you were going to say that. Not a good deal, but anyway, let me just say something because you just took a lot of stuff away from what I was going to say. But let me just say this, and I'll be very briefly. Just want to say to the Volunteers of America, you guys do just a superb job. You really, really do, and I was just really impressed with the support that all of you gotten tonight. So I want to say thanks to the board, to Kate Rand and her fine staff. We all should give you guys just a round of applause for the work that you do. You know, it's you know, Bob and I get a lot of the good accolades and all of the stuff that goes along with producing a newspaper, but really it's not us. It's the people in the background. It's the, and they're not here tonight. They'll put it out tonight with our new website as well. So I just want to say thanks to just a wonderful, wonderful staff that I have been having and allow me to be before you for 38 years. I want to recognize a couple of people in the audience today. Table 1 and 2, some of our people that have been working with us for the last 15 to 20 years, Table 1 and 2. So I just want to say thank you all, and there are the accountants and some of the other people that are part of our team that's behind the scenes. So thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. And on a personal note, let me recognize my two daughters, Monica and Monique. I call them sometimes M and M. So would you guys stand up? Okay. You know, and I'll shut up in a minute, about a couple of more minutes. I was telling Bobby I had a 40-page speech that I was going to make, but I don't think that'll go well with Kay. I just want to say that you know, it's been amazing the work that they do, and what we do as well, and anyone could be deserving of this particular award. For me, it's a privilege and an honor to be associated with the first award for Booker T. Seriously, one of my favorite governors when we first started. And Vic, and I really love this guy. He's just an amazing man. And I know anyone could have been picked for this award. I'm privileged and honored to have the first one. And they were telling me all about the globe that you like, and I love it as well. And I know that in the next year and so on, there are going to be many people deserving of what the Volunteers of America have done. And I'm just privileged and honored to be the first recipient of this particular award. Thank you, sir. And thank all you guys.